Hey, welcome, this is BNZZ from Fin Rattles Liberia, and today I'm going to be presenting to you guys a very short tutorial called the County League tutorial. Actually, I did this tutorial because of the National County Sport Meets in my country in Liberia, and I just want to share with you guys how I did some of the things. And I use Photoshop for this, I use Maya, and I also use After Effects. Well, the interesting thing is that after I did the 15 counties, I was just like waiting to know who's going to be qualified. And luckily, I was able to get the first qualified, and they were like 8 teams in number, and it was so cool. So I hope you can watch this tutorial. I hope you can learn a lot of things from it. Model that I've been working on for some time, and I'm just going to open the UV editor, and the UV editor is just like taking the skin of a ball and then trying to paint on it and then putting the skin back on the ball. So what we did is we just exported this UV into Photoshop. You can choose whatever format you wish to use, and now if you can see it, it's just like a skin. This is the jersey and this is the face and all those stuff. So if I just open this with Photoshop, and then I'm going to create like another layout, and then I just create a white solid over this layer, and I'm going to like group the two of them and Control E to group them and make them into one. And I just use the brightness to like brighten it up because we're going to like paint on top of it. So this is the ball, this is the shorts, and this is like the hands, the skin. This is the boot, and then this is the face. So I think you can all understand this. So years back, I was like working on the snake, and then I used a Modbox. So in Modbox it's very easy because in Modbox you can just use your hands to like paint on the layers, but for these tutorials, because there is a prototype and it's going to take a lot of time to do this, and I'm working with so many teams, so I just decided to get some images from on the internet where I can just use to just cover those UVs that we created. So I carefully observed all the counties, their jerseys, I observed the players, I observed the reality in them, I tried to observe everything, and some of them have a sponsorship at the back of their jerseys, and everything was just real. And I'm so happy that Myers were able to work with me closely on this, and together we were able to do something great. So if you just see the render output of this, and you know that it's cool, and this is the face that I use. So for this tutorial I just decided to use Lo-Fi County because I think they are the best, I think. So in Photoshop, you can understand what I just did. Go back into Maya and then use the Hyper Shader. You just select the surface, the Maya surface AI, and then just import what you created in Photoshop. Those images you lay on top of your UVs, and then we just like open them with this in Photoshop. So you just select the layer, and then you can like apply this to it. That's good. So now we have this. This is the Lo-Fi County. This is their jerseys, and I think it's a kind of cute. And you look under the boot, everything is just real. And then the next thing I did was to create a camera and an aim. Well, if you are a movie maker and you want to get some equipment, you want to get some cool things for your movie, for your recording, anything you want, you can just contact me. Yeah. And there are couples of things you can also get. If you want to get this, you can just contact me. You can get it in like 2 months, or maybe you can get it in like 2 weeks, or maybe in 8 days. It depends if you want it to go by ship, if you want to go by air or something. So you can just contact me on that. And secondly, I want to give a shout out here to my boy Charlie Man for producing this awesome instrumental that we are using here, and it's so cool. And I want to say shout out to you, bro. So in this camera, you notice that this is the resolution of the screen, but this character is like walking out of the frame. So this is why you need to create a camera. So I save this as the camera, and this one is the perspective. So in the perspective, I can like do anything I want to do. Then in the camera, I'm going to reveal the output of what's going to be showing on the screen. So with the camera selected, I can like adjust a bit into the monitor, and then the aim, I just make sure the aim is pointing at the layer, and then you just go and make it a little bit big to see what's going to happen. And then I did a quick render selecting the camera view, but I noticed that what I saw was blank, and it's because there's no light into it. So I decided to adjust the light to get a light into it, and then after setting up the light, I also did another render again, and this time is also blank. And it's because if you are trying to do recording and it's at night, now this scene is at night, and you need to pop up your ISO, or you need to like increase the brightness. So we just pop the ISO up a bit, and now we can see that characters is beginning to come out. And so this is the final look, and I think it's looking cute. In the advert, what I used was reflexive because it was a prototype, but now I'm just showing you a quick walk down to how I did this. So you can like play with the colors, you can blend like 3 colors, you can use like 3 lightnings, but because of this is something simple, so I'm just going to use just like 1 light. And the next thing is the camera. So I will add a track to the camera that whenever he walks out of the frame, and then I adjust the cameras when he walked down, and then I also adjust the camera. And I also went to the aim. The aim is something that points directly at what is happening, and I also did some animation on the aim. So now we have a simple camera movement, and then you can like render this out. To render it out, you just name it whatever you want to name it, and then I select TEF, PNG, whatever, but I use TEF for this, and you just leave that, and then you can use the name. This means the name you gave, and the number plus the format is in TF, the TEF. So if you look up here, you see it's LOFA 001, and the N is TF. So, and then next thing is the frame. This is from 1 to 44. So we're gonna make this 1, and then we make this 44. So from 1 to 44 frame, and that's okay. You can use select camera 1 because we selected the camera 1 because this is our final monitor. This is what we're going to see on the screen. If you select perspective, then you have a lot of things to deal with. But we're just going to put this on the camera 1 because we want to deal with only what we have in our monitor. So if everything is screwed up, we just go and try to do a patch render. Now, if you render this out, it's going to come like this. This is an example of the member counting. It's going to come like this, and you see it's going to come just like a photos, but it's going to go from 1 up to the frame that you render out. So if you want to import this into After Effects, what you have to do, you just go into After Effects and just try to import this and import multi-files. And then you have to locate where you render your scene, and then you just make sure you have the create composition and the tab sequence on, and then you just like open it up, and it's going to load right into this. Now you just cancel this, and it's going to log out. So we already have this. So this is very simple. So guys, there are couples of things I did in this tutorial that I really don't have the time to reveal everything. If I decide to go into depth, maybe it's going to take like 2 hours or something. And I also did some paint weighting. I did all the 15 counties, and I repeated the same method for everything. Well, it took me like 2 weeks to do this because it's not an easy job. And I just want you guys to show me some love, comment, leave a decent comment. Please help me to share my tutorial. Thank you.